guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jael, for those of you that may not know, and in today's video we are going to be playing around with the very popular Pure X Raw Beauty Christi palette. This palette is like a big old deal, near about broke the internet, so we're going to be taking a deep dive look at it. Just a quick bit of housekeeping. I waited in a 15-hour queue online for this palette, so I'm gonna need y'all to just stop right now, go ahead and press that like button, give your girl some support, because I really near about tapped out 10 different times out of frustration waiting for this palette. So I'm gonna need that support back. Thank you very much, and we can go ahead and get on in. Also, I do know that I owe you guys a Black Owned Mondays video. I had to take a week off. I was just really feeling a lot of stuff going on, and I just needed a break. I just needed a little mental health moment. I went ahead and took it. I also wasn't feeling that well, like physically. It was like a whole thing, spiritually, physically, mentally. I had a whole thing. I took some time off. I'm coming back next month. I'm going to be at you guys with 2 Black Owned Mondays. My goal is eventually to do it every single Monday, but for right now we're doing it once to twice a month. So next month will be 2. We're going to get on into that. If you guys don't know what that is, I have a series on my channel where I talk about a Black owned brand. I feature it, I give a deep dive look at it, and we have fun with it. So today we're going to be focusing on the new Raw Beauty Christi release. However, I'm going to give you guys an eyeshadow tutorial, technically 2 eyeshadow tutorials, and we're gonna have some fun. So let's dive on in. So first things first, this packaging is absolutely stunning. I am a Harry Potter nerd myself, so I very much appreciate the little Harry Potter shout outs. This is one right here. This little eye right here, this little Harry Potter shout out that she did. I just appreciate anything that is innovative and creative. I think this is such a cool palette. So if you guys are unfamiliar, Pure is an indie brand. They are, however, in a major retailer, which is Ulta Beauty, but they are still independently and privately owned. They have some really nice products. They released like a troll collection that I haven't tried. I know they had like a Barbie collection, but they've had different things that are kind of like out there, kind of different, and they just have some cool products. I have to say, I really became a fan of Pure when they updated their eyeshadow formula. I didn't like them that much before, but when they released their festival palette, and I believe it was 2019, they have a new one that's out, but they have an old festival palette that's pink. I have it, but I just don't feel like going to get it. When they released that palette, I noticed that their formula of eyeshadows had changed, and it was so much better, and I started to enjoy them a lot more. I believe that this is that formula that's just really nice, so I'm excited about that. I know that it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I like Pure. Another thing to note is that this palette is a double-sided palette. I saw that some people actually thought that it was 2 different palettes, that like you had to buy one or the other, but no, you're buying 2 palettes in one. This is actually a component that Christi came up with herself, which is really dope because I haven't heard of anybody doing anything like this before personally. But if you open the palette, on one side, it has this kind of multi-color front. As you guys can see, the color shifts. You open it up and you have your colorful side. Then you flip the palette over, and this side is just kind of like a blank, or not blank, but a very rose gold single color. You open that up, and let a little plastic part come out, and you have your more neutral everyday colors. So I think this is super innovative. It's going to be very easy for people to travel with, because no matter what you're doing, you basically have your everyday colors that you need. If you want to do a pop of color, if you want to do your neutrals, this is a really dope palette, and I bet you that within the next 6 months, you're going to see, a year I'll say, because of the pandemic, you're going to see at least 5 other palettes like this. Pure and Christi probably do have a copyright on this exact component, but y'all already know people find ways to do little loopholes around that, so you know we're going to be seeing some stuff coming out. So what I'm planning on doing today is to do the colorful side on one eye and the neutral side on the other eye. They're going to be the same exact eyeshadow kind of shape and the eyeshadow technique, but they're going to be 2 different looks, basically. but very complementary and the same basic idea. I'm picking up this pot gel liner from ColourPop. This is in the shade Joy Ride, and it just looks like this. I'm going to just be taking this very teensy liner or like smudger pencil brush, and I'm going to be picking up a little bit of the product, wipe off a little bit of the excess in the back of my hand, and I'm going to start mapping out a little bit of a shape. Now, as you guys can see, I'm only doing it right here because I'm making a V shape and I'm keeping it on the outside. It's a little sloppy. That's okay because we're going to be blending this out anyway. This top red shade here called Flavor Town, and we're going to start blending out with this top red shade. So I'm going to start at the bottom. And then bring it up to the top. And I'm just building this shadow up enough that I feel like I have a nice, base down. We are going to blend this red out even more. So far, it is performing. The red is showing up. I like the fact that it's pigmented, but not too pigmented, so that I can still work with it and get it to kind of do what I need it to do. So we have that base shade down. What I'm going to do now is, on a slightly bigger brush, I'm going to take this pink shade, which is the shade Side Effect. I want to take this pink shade and I'm going to just start blending out this red. To help blend and diffuse this top bit out a little bit more, I'm taking some pressed powder, some translucent pressed powder, and I'm just going to very lightly tap that up top and right on top of where this line is right here. I'm going to take more of the shade Side Effect and I'm going to just start blending right on this lid shade a bit, or right on the lid rather. Blend it in there a little bit. And because when we mixed that red with that maroon shade, it kind of brought out a purpley tone, I am going to go back in and deepen up this outer V with a little bit of purple, because there is a purple in the palette, and I'm going to just let that kind of just deepen up these deeper shades. Pretty purple shade right here, and I am just going to lightly bring that into this outer V. And then to blend that in a little bit more, I'm going to go back in with this red shade Flavor Town, and I'm going to blend that purple out and redefine the red. All right, so I feel like we look nice and blended right here. Now I am going to go and start adding in some of our lid colors. So we're starting off with the innermost corner shade, which is going to be this yellow shade called Dandelion. And I'm taking this a little bit up in the crease. We are going to be blending it over a little bit, but I want to make sure that it's nice and prominent. Okay, next I'm going to go in with the orange shade in the palette, which is the shade Am I Orange, which is something that Christy always says in her videos if you watch. So we're taking this orange shade right here. So pretty. And I'm going to just be going back and forth between the yellow and the orange just to make sure that everything is blended and we don't have any like harsh lines. So now what I'm going to do is just redefine a little bit of that purple and help everything to look even more seamless and blended. So I'm going to pick up a little dot more of the purple shade Side Effect, and I'm just going to bring it up like so. and just really help to define the outer V. This is basically the basis of our colorful side. Very simple, very pretty, and I think it just looks really nice. And I like that you have your little bit of definition. We can even deepen up this red a little bit more on the outer edge here. Okay, so we have this eye down. Now let's switch sides and we can go ahead and do the neutral side on the other eye. I basically did the same thing where I mapped out my wing and then I started blending it out with the shade You're Not My Real Dad. Now I'm blending out that shade with the shade Told You. I'm going to stop really quickly and do the same thing that I did on the other eye, which is take a little bit of setting powder and just press that right along where I want to blend everything out. For the lid, I'm going to kind of mimic what I did over here with going in with like a orangey shade and then a yellow shade. So she has this like very light salmon color right here called It Just Does. So I'm going to take this salmon color and I'm going to be taking this shade Camelot, and which she named in memory of her mother, and I'm going to be putting that on my innermost corner. You know, on me, they're almost the same color. I can see this one's definitely more of like a sunflower golden yellow, and this one is definitely much more of like a mustard yellow. And now going in with the orangey salmon shade, It Just Does. Now I'm going to go back in with a little bit more of that deeper shade that I first laid down. I want to take a little bit more of You're Not My Real Dad, this deep brown, and I'm just going to, on a larger pencil brush, just deepen up. Now I do feel like it's looking a little dark over here. So in order to help lighten that up a little bit, I am going to take this shade Copper Boxes, which I know that she named after, like in honor of her dad. I do have to say, I feel like I like this eye better. One, because I really like the color, but two, I feel like this eye blended out a lot easier, more easily than this eye did. Let me see, maybe if I bring some more of this salmon-y shade over, that'll help. Go in with the shade My Whole Heart, which is this really light, like, I don't know the word for that, a really light tan shade. And I'm just going to blend this over top of those edges and just try to really soften everything up. And then I feel like maybe I just need to warm it up a little bit more. So I'm going to mix the shades Told You and the shade It Just Does together. And I think if I just go through and just kind of blend a little bit of that, just add a little bit of warmth, that'll help as well. All right, guys, so basically all I did is I took that salmon-y shade and I just blended it over a little bit more into that brown because I wasn't loving the way that it looked and I felt like I just needed to do a little bit more. So I did that, and now I really like the way that this looks. I still like this eye better just because I really love the color combination. I think it's so pretty, but as far as the neutral eye goes, this is really nice. And once we clean it up a bit and get everything kind of going, it'll be perfect. So I'm pretty happy. This is what this eye is looking like. So, like, honestly stunning, like amazing. And this is what this eye looks like. So still good, still nice, still vibing with this whole thing. So what I'm gonna do right now is pop off camera, pop on the rest of my face, and I will be back with you guys so we can finish up the eyes and put on the lashes from her collection. So my base is done and we are back, and I'm loving this. I actually really love this with the lash on. Like, it definitely completes the look, and this is so beautiful. So the lashes that I'm wearing are from Raw Christy Beauty's collection. This is the Lovely Lash. It's a lot more dramatic than I thought it was gonna be and a lot longer. I don't know how well you guys can kind of tell, on camera, but in person it's like in your face. Now we're going to go and do the under eye area. So to do that, I'm going to start off by taking the colorful side, and I'm basically just going to kind of follow along with what I did here. So I'm going to take the red and then blend that out with the pink. For the inner corner, I am going to pick up this shimmer shade, which is the shade Cafe Disco. So this shade right here. And I'm gonna pop that right on the inner corner area and bring it kind of down around the eye. So we're gonna do right here and bring it down. This is such a vibrant color. I was not expecting like the level of reflect that it has. It's very like reflective, very metallic. That's pretty. So for the neutrals palette, I'm going to take these two brown shades down here. You're Not My Real Dad and I Told You, and then I'm going to take the shimmer shade Golden Ticket and pop that in the inner corner. All right, you guys, and this is your completed look. How do we like it? I am a fan. I love this side of the eye in particular. It's just so pretty. It's such a beautiful, vibrant pop of color. And then this side is much more muted. It's a little bit sloppier, not gonna lie. I did run into a little bit of issues just with how I wasn't expecting the shades to be as pigmented and dark as they were, which I don't know why, because I did this side first, but it's what happened. But I still love this. I think it's really pretty. And if I had it on both eyes, I would like it even more, but I just am so drawn to this one because this one just turned out so perfectly. But I absolutely love this. I love this palette. I really, really do. I think that they're great. I need to play around with the shades a little bit more. And interestingly enough, I like these better. I feel like both sides blended, but I just like the color side a little bit more. I just think that it just offers me a little bit more of what I'm looking for. While I really like these, I feel like I wish that this was a little bit warmer, and I wish that these two were a little bit warmer, but that's just for me because I am a person that loves warm toned shadows so much that I always want everything to be super warm. But I think that I can definitely make them work. I think that was the issue, is that I wanted them to be a little bit warmer, and I thought they were going to be slightly warmer than they were, and they weren't. It's still beautiful and it still works. So my thoughts overall are that I think this is a really innovative, fantastic palette. I think it performs well. I think you can get a lot of use out of it. It's definitely worth the bang for your buck. It blends beautifully, it performs, it shows up. It's something that's pretty easy and fast to use, and you can definitely travel with it because it seems pretty sturdy. And I think that's really awesome. I do, however, think that Pure definitely flubbed a bit with their, or a lot actually, with their, opening of this palette with the launch day. Obviously, they weren't prepared, and that's not entirely on them because Chrissy even said that she never expected something like this. I know people have different opinions of everything, but I think that, with this whole makeup world and things launching online, some brands that are more independent and a little bit smaller may never be as prepared as we wish that they were. I really think that it's great that they decided to go ahead and do a completely separate website through Shopify to be able to cater to everybody and make sure everybody had the palette. I do think, however, that they should have made it more publicly known that they were going to be launching at Ulta, because apparently it was on the website, but I'm going to be completely honest, if you went on that website during launch day, it's not like you could really get through the website to read anything because everything was so broken down. So it was almost like, you just wanted to try and get in and get out as quickly as possible. And I don't know how many people were on the website ahead of time trying to read about everything. So I just wish they had made it more clear that it was going to be available, because Chrissy apparently didn't know that it was going to be available at Ulta ahead of time. I think that would have saved them a lot of stress and saved us a lot of stress as consumers. But with all that being said, I do believe that this was a very successful launch. I think that this is a stunning collection. I really like every piece of it. It's the eyelashes and the palettes, but I just think that it all blends together really nicely. You can definitely create a multitude of looks from these. You can go back and forth in both palettes. You can just use one palette each. You can mix and match. It's going to make a very versatile palette for you guys. It's a little bit more compact, not as clunky. If you're not a person that likes to buy a lot of makeup and you like to keep it very minimal, this would be a great thing to have because one, it's black, so it's very nice and sleek. It will, you know, kind of fit into that whole minimalistic lifestyle if that's something you're interested in. And like I said, you get double the amount of shadows that you normally would in a palette this size. So I think it's really awesome as well. Again, if you travel, it's going to be something that you can easily fit into a handbag or whatever it is that you travel with. So I think that that is awesome. And I think that you're definitely going to get your money's worth. If she ends up seeing this, congratulations, Christy. And if she doesn't, congratulations. You are one of my favorite people to watch on YouTube. You have such a positive spirit and you're just so funny, and all of your looks are just always so interesting and creative. And I'm just happy that she is getting recognition that she deserves. Christy also, you know, always supports indie brands. She has openly supported Black-owned brands before it was the trend to support Black-owned brands. It looks like it's going to show up on a multitude of skin tones, which is awesome. I, you know, definitely suggest priming. You're using colors like this. Prime, be careful with how you're working. But as far as these bright, vibrant colors go, they do blend nicely. I didn't have really any issues with that. And yeah, overall, I just think this is a really successful look and successful tutorial. So you guys now have 2 full looks that you guys can create with this. You guys can, of course, like I said, mix and match and do so many more. And as you guys know, I love to constantly use products that I own on my channel. I am not a review channel, but I do the occasional review. So definitely keep an eye out because you will be seeing this on my channel again and again, because I'm one of those people that I prefer to use the products that I have instead of always buying new products. Not to say that I don't spend my money on new products, because y'all already know I do. But yeah, definitely keep an eye out if you guys are curious about what other looks you can do. And if you have, you know, some suggestions, definitely let me know so that I can make sure that I can make that happen for you. Okay, that was a mouthful. Hopefully I wasn't talking too fast. The Philly comes out sometimes and I can just, you know, actually it comes out all the time, but I talk very quickly sometimes. So hopefully I wasn't, you know, speeding through. With all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Comment down below. Again, please let me know if you guys want to see me do another look with this. Let me know kind of what you're feeling. Give me some suggestions for my Black Owned Mondays series, which again, you will have 2 coming for you in the month of August. And yeah, just let me know how you guys are doing. I will see you all in my next video. Make sure to comment, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. And outside of that, I will see you all. Yeah, I think that's it, right? Share the video. We always like to share. All right, guys. So outside of all of that, I will see you all in my next one. Bye, my loves.
Say my name until the city burns and the stars fade away and your scars don't hurt. Stay with me until the last